Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the bad boys of high school sports podcasting are back at Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live with Andy Kretzinger, me, Hunter Moeller,
me,
him, Alex Snyder, on the ones and twos.
me.
We are here on a beautiful winter day in Southeast Iowa. Every day in Southeast Iowa is beautiful, honestly. Yeah. Whether it's cold, warm, just living in this great state.
Don't you love when you wake up in the morning and it's 19 degrees and you walk outside and
every single morning I wake up.
Car's frosted over.
Every single morning I wake up and I thank God for three things. One, that I live in the great state of Iowa, first off.
Hey, amen to that.
Two, the viewers and readers of the Southeast Iowa Union.
Yep.
And then three, that I still have my good looks at the ripe old age of 33.
Hey.
Those three things. Oh, by the way, I lied last week. I said Taylor Swift was turning 33. She was turning 34. So just quick little, got that wrong. All right, we're going to talk a little high school sports action. But first, let's remind our viewers who we're powered by. Hunter?
Fairway Food Stores.
Fairway Food Stores. Yep. We should have a show from Fairway.
You think so?
Ooh, we should do a special supermarket sweep.
You think they would let us?
From Fairway. Yeah, probably. Yeah, and they're a title sponsor. They've been, as I said, when the footprints in the stands, when there's 4 footprints, that's us walking side by side with Fairway. And when there's 2, that's when Fairway carried us when we couldn't go any longer. We're going to talk about a little high school sports, and I am going to share this episode on my public Facebook first because I forgot to do that. Give you guys a little time to share it on your public Facebook. Go ahead. Whether you're watching this replay, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Go ahead and share it on your Facebook, your X, your YouTube. All right, here we go. Together right now. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to our new viewers who are only watching this because your friends shared it on their social media. I'm going to talk a little bit of Washington and Mount Pleasant basketball, the rivalry.
Do it.
The Demons and the Panthers, one of the more heated rivalries in the Southeast Conference. I was there in Washington on Friday, and I'll start with the girls' game here. Coming into this girls' game, Washington had only beaten Mount Pleasant one time in the last 15 tries. But with the kids that Washington brought back and the kids that Mount Pleasant lost, I think there was a feeling in the air that it might be the Demons' night. And it was 66-40 for the Washington Demons. A lot of that is thanks to Adeline Long, who claimed in her post-game interview that she had not been hitting her threes. I watched the game earlier, so I think that's a little bit of a fib. She did quite a bit before this, but she knocked down 5. She was on fire against the Panthers. 25 points for Adeline Long. That helped Washington get to a 22-11 first quarter lead, 40-20 at halftime, 57-34 at the end of the third quarter. Lauren Heinrichsen and Kendall Heinrichsen had 12 and 10. Addison Miller with 6. Demons got out. I think Mount Pleasant scored the first bucket. After that, Washington went on a 22-4 run.
Man.
Just boom, 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 3, steal, steal, steal. Now, to Mount Pleasant's credit, the last couple minutes of the first quarter, the Panthers kind of started to scrap back. Mount Pleasant's been a little shorthanded. The other day when I watched them, they were out with 2 girls. Now they are without Haley Parrott, who's probably their leading returner. Is their leading returner from last year. Got a little hand wrist injury. Like they said, a couple weeks she should be back. Also, shout out to Panther head coach Kurt Watson, who had an upper body injury in the facial region and could not coach in this game. Mm-hmm. So he was gone. Amy Iverson, former Iowa Wesleyan women's basketball star, was coaching the Panthers. I thought Mount Pleasant played pretty well from the end of the second quarter all the way up until maybe early in the fourth quarter. Maybe midway through the third quarter, Washington took back control of that one. But a high-scoring game. The over hit in this one for sure, 66-40. For Mount Pleasant, Kinley White with 11 points. I didn't get a rebound total on that, but she had a lot of rebounds as well. That was off the bench. Abby Carthy with 9. Juliana Burns with 8 for the Panthers, and Peyton Insminger, freshman, with a 4 spot for Mount Pleasant. So Washington gets their second win in the Golden Triangle / Southeast Iowa Union big school triple rivalry between Washington, Fairfield, and Mount Pleasant. and they're 2-1 in the conference. Mount Pleasant still looking for that first conference win. Mount Pleasant's got Keokuk tonight. Pretty tough team to get your first conference win against. Yeah. Hold on, real quick cough. Washington has Fort Madison.
Yep. Another tough team.
That's going to be a battle. Fort Madison can play defense like crazy. I'll actually watch Fort Madison Keokuk when it gets online when they play. And then boys game. So this is another series that was in Washington's favor up until midway through a couple years ago. Mount Pleasant had won 2 in a row. This is the total opposite of the girls' game, where you talk about now Mount Pleasant bringing back a ton of their talent from last year. Washington rebuilding all but a couple of players that had varsity experience last year. And Washington stuck with Mount Pleasant pretty well, especially considering when Washington played Keokuk earlier this year. Keokuk's got that big kid, the sophomore.
Yep.
And he killed him. He could do whatever he wanted. Mount Pleasant's got 2 big kids, two biggest guys on the court by far, and they held Mount Pleasant's post to 8 points, which is pretty good. But Mount Pleasant guards Peyton Higgins and Christian Stacy combined for 54 points in a 70-53 win. So 54 points. They actually outscored Washington when it was all said and done.
Yep.
It was 13-8. After the first buzzer, 33-24 at halftime. So Washington was in it for a lot of it. They did a pretty good job of kind of using their speed to try and battle a little bit of that height. But in the end, it was. Higgins and Stacy pretty much just took turns penetrating, driving, boom, layup. They hit a few threes.
They're so good at that.
Those guys, that is a great backcourt. And whoever's the third guy, it's usually Avon Trong.
Yep.
He's a great defender and a speedster.
Yeah.
And so he's able to do a little bit of the dirty work outside of scoring. Avon also, he missed a dunk the other day. I'm waiting for him to nail one. I wouldn't have got a good picture of that one anyway, because my camera's a little blurry. So next time when he actually hits the dunk, I got that picture, Avon. Nate Stroud with 6. And then Zach Newton, who's been one of my favorite players so far this year, as far as surprising. He's getting a bunch of offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
He just comes in. They have the two big
He's
posts.
also a good defender too.
He is, and he hit threes. He hit 2 threes the other day. He hit a 3. He might have had 6 points. I have him down as 5, but I wrote the story. He might have hit 2 threes for 6, but he comes in. It's got to be frustrating. I think I talked about this last week. Mount Pleasant has Stroud and Lang, who are both really big, and then you finally get one out maybe from foul trouble or rest, and then this other guy comes in and gets rebounds on you. Washington had a weird game scoring-wise. Rajon Roth had 10 points in the blink of an eye and then didn't score again, and then Cale Williams didn't score much in the first half at all, ends up leading them with 13 points. Drew Conrad, 12, Rajon Roth, 10, Logan McDowell, 9, and Roman Roth with 6. So very, very balanced as usual for the Demon Boys.
They're pretty balanced, which is kind of what makes them dangerous too.
It does,
Because if they're all on, I guess Mount Pleasant did a good job, even though they were balanced, but Mount Pleasant did a good job to limit them. But if they're all on and they're getting, kind of their shots at will and hitting from 3, I think, Washington's pretty dangerous. And they're young too. So, really young.
And I'll tell you, Washington can hit shots. You saw them in a game where they just were lights out. Yep. They did not hit shots very well this game. They still stuck in it, which is in a way a good thing, because now, Mount Pleasant's a really good team. They killed Benton. Mount Pleasant is now 3-0. They play Keokuk tonight. Guess what Keokuk is?
3-0.
3-0. So Mount Pleasant, girls and boys, have the chance to try and cut into the Chiefs' dominance, because Keokuk basketball 6-0 so far.
Yep. And we'll say we can get into that too next.
Yeah, we'll get into that next. But that's right, because you were in Fairfield on Friday. I just forgot that they were playing a Keokuk.
Yep.
So tell me how Friday night went.
Yeah, well, in the girls' game, obviously, Fairfield struggling in the early season. Obviously, got a lot of new girls. Kind of jumping into the varsity role. Savannah Hollander obviously leading them. Playing Keokuk, who's been the premier team. Still looking like, as you mentioned, the premier team in the conference. They ended up winning this one 67-21. Really what strikes me about Keokuk is they're very fundamental, fantastic on the press too. They pretty much, the story of the night was they just limited Fairfield's offensive opportunities and turned it into their own opportunities, which they capitalized on, getting to the rim, hit a couple threes, things like that. But, really that was kind of shown early on. Fairfield took about 2 minutes to get the first bucket on a Brianna Steele lay-in. Scored once more in that first quarter there, came at the 135 mark. So, about 4 or 5 minutes later, they didn't score until around the final couple minutes there. And through that span, Keokuk scored 13 points. So they led 15-4 by the end of the first quarter. Really just continued to tack it on. 9 points is as close as Fairfield would ever come. And the Chiefs ended up holding them to under 10 points in the final 3 quarters and under 5 or less in the third and fourth in this one. So at the half, it was 37-12 in favor of the Chiefs. And then went on to outscore them 15-4 for a 52-16 lead. Heading into the fourth, and then just continued kind of to run away with it in that fourth quarter. Ended up scoring 15 to the Trojans 5 in that fourth quarter there. So really just one of the best teams pretty much in the in the Southeast Conference.
Yeah.
Well, is the best team right now in the Southeast Conference technically if you look at record and things like that. So yeah, 67-21 loss for the Trojan in this one. And Savannah Hollander led with 7 points, Brianna Steele 6 points, and Elise Ederstrom 4. So as you can see from the stats, and Savannah Hollander went 3 for 4 with 7 points. So that kind of shows you, the Trojans didn't get off many shots in that game. Thanks to the Chiefs defense. So.
I think I said last week that the Trojan girls were just finally hitting their stride because they played so well the last couple games. Yeah. If there's one team that can stop that stride in a huff, it's Keokuk. They just play a different game than everybody else. Yeah. It's just
they got shooters. They've got a good guard who's the Kendra Bowman, who's only a sophomore, but she plays like an upperclassman. They've got a really good kind of unit there.
Yeah, the All Gilbers are very good. I think I said that last week. They're very good. Keokuk, the big favorite. Also, Burlington, I think, beat Fort Masson.
Yeah, so now Keokuk's out in front.
Keokuk's out in front. There we go. How about the boys?
And then on the boys' side, now it's kind of interesting with the Southeast Conference. It kind of varies week from week so far. We saw Keokuk dominate Washington, and then Washington turn around and kind of dominated Fairfield. This time around, pretty close one for much of the night between Keokuk and Fairfield. 50-39 was the final, and heading into the fourth, it was a 3-point game, 34-31. The Trojans, or Keokuk was leading by 3. And really, the biggest difference was that fourth quarter, the Trojans just began to kind of struggle offensively. Ended up only scoring 8 points in the fourth quarter to Keokuk's 16. Early on, they got a bucket from Sam Wheaton to cut it to 1 in that fourth quarter. So 33-34. And then after that, Fairfield's next bucket wouldn't come again until the 4-minute mark. So for around 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes, the Trojans wouldn't score. And by that time, Keokuk held a 48-37 advantage. And then that was pretty much, basically by that time wasn't on Fairfield's side.
Yeah.
And Keokuk, notches their third SEC win. They're out front, as you mentioned, with Mount Pleasant now. After one, it was 11-5. Keokuk kind of looking, those early on struggles, at the end kind of hit them early on. But, they were able to bounce back. And in large part, it was due to getting what's the kid's name? Jackson Clark. That's the sophomore, 6'9". And he just dominates down low. You witnessed it. They got him in foul trouble early. He didn't play for much of the second quarter. They got him in 2 fouls early on. Fairfield actually won the second quarter 15-12. So that cut it to 3 at the half, 23-20. Fairfield trailed at the half. And really, it was tight. They had Clark back in the third period. Ended up being pretty tight, 11-11. Both scored in that third period. So really nice job overall by Fairfield. Kind of limiting the guards. They got good guards in Keokuk as well. I don't know. It just felt like we kind of saw a version of Fairfield in that second to third quarter of, this is what they're capable of. And it was, overall, I was kind of impressed with like how they handled themselves.
And I have seen that version before against Oskaloosa, and then for a half against Ottumwa. So they have that. It's like any other young team that has kids that haven't played varsity for a long time. They've got the talent, just have to figure it all out. By the way,
and I was going to say I was really impressed with Eli Zillman, sophomore for them. High jumper in track, and man, can that kid leap. And he gets up and down pretty quick.
Yep.
He scored 12 points, lead them 6 for 8, and I bet 6 of those 8 points were all putbacks.
Yeah.
Were all putbacks. Riley Perkins had 10, Ben Boatwright 8 for them, and Zillman also pulled down 8 boards. So you mentioned young team, but No, they've been showing signs of what they're capable of the past couple weeks here.
Yeah, there are opportunities for Fairfield to get wins in the Southeast Conference still. They're going to be at the bottom right now, but there are teams, if they can play with Keokuk, they can play with about anybody.
Right.
I was going to say that Keokuk, what was the kid's name? The sophomore?
Jackson Clark.
I was talking to, I might have told this story before, but I was talking to Matt, the trainer at Washington, and I think one of us was like, yeah, we have to make sure that big kid can't score that much inside.
Dude, if he gets down low, he gets the ball at the rim. It's
well. I think 30 seconds into the game, he launched a three, drained it, and we both looked at each other like, "Oh, here we go." Like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah. And he had 23. He ended up with 23 in the game, but
he plays Mount Pleasant tonight. That will be a war down low.
I think it's going to be a great game.
I think so too. I think that's going to be, and I think that Keokuk's going to travel well. And I think Keokuk and Mount Pleasant isn't really a rivalry, but I always joke that Mount Pleasant has a rivalry with everybody because they're right here and every other school
just around
them. So there have been some good games between those two teams in the past.
Yep.
And now let's stop talking about the past. Let's talk about the future.
Let's do it.
The near future for our watchers. You're gonna watch some ads from our local businesses that support this show. So pay attention. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Yes.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
I am Melissa Westfall with Homegirl Realty. Heather and Charlotte and I have worked together for many years, and we have always had a vision to have a business together.
I'm Charlotte Howard, and the good news is we bring a very high level of experience. We have a combined 80 plus years of experience in this real estate marketplace.
I'm Heather Merrick, and Homegirl Realty brings a lot of things to the table. We have phenomenal communication with our clients, buyers and sellers, to make sure things are going smoothly and you don't have anything to worry about.
Welcome back to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk. I almost said SoutheastIowaUnion.com, which is our website. Make sure to check it out. As well as
on Twitter, too.
Yes, Twitter, at Union Sports page. Facebook, at Washington, not at, but Washington Live, Mount Pleasant Live, Fairfield Live. Check out our other podcast on SoutheastIowaUnion.com. We got a lot of stuff going on. Hunter. Oh, and we're powered by Fairway, as we talked about earlier, and we'll talk about all the time. I'd say talk about it to your ears bleed, but it's just every single time I hear it, it's just sweeter and sweeter. How about a little celebrity birthday interlude? Ready for this?
Hit it.
I've heard of one of these people. Jake Gyllenhaal, 43.
What a great actor.
What a great actor. He's in Bubble Boy.
Yep.
And Prince of Persia, maybe? I don't know. You know what? Jake Gyllenhaal is kind of an average actor.
He's in Spider-Man. He's in Jarhead.
Spider-Man, Jarhead. His sister was in Batman, right?
Yep.
They killed her off. Spoiler alert in the first movie. That was a very sad scene.
Not first movie, second movie.
Gloom, a YouTube star, turns 33. Welcome to the 33 Club. Primetime. Never mind.
He's been a
Can't say the next word after that. And Gibby something. All right, whatever. I'm not reading from that side anymore.
fantastic.
Almost got ourselves canceled. Let's go with some boys basketball roundup.
Let's do it.
Courtesy of Hunter Muller and all of the girls afterwards. So
sir.
take it away, Hunter.
Yeah, we had a packed. You guys serious? We had a packed week of some small school boys action over the weekend and late last week on Friday. First up, we've got Winfield Mount Union 65. I didn't put Columbus's score for some reason into that one, but you want to look that up for me?
The boys.
Oh wait, hold on. I will have it in like 2 seconds. I'm already on Columbus's stuff because of
one Mississippi.
65-22. There we go. So let me go ahead and add that on here real quick. But 65-22 Winfield Mount Union over Columbus. That made it 4 wins in a row for WMU. Would be undefeated. Obviously, they lost to that
Illinois team. They're
team
undefeated in the
Yep.
state of Iowa.
Yep.
Never mind.
The Wolves held the Wildcats to just 10 points in the first half. And all those points came in the first quarter in that one. So held them scoreless in the second period. And then the Wolves went on to score 40 themselves. And then in the second half, the Wolves only extended their lead, edging the Wildcats 25-12. Abram Edwards finished with a double-double for WMU, 21 points, 11 rebounds. Cam Buffington double-double as well, 12 points and 10 boards. And Jake Edwards with 12 for Columbus. Gabriel Zuniga was the leader with 8 points. Probably the hottest team in the area. Still hasn't lost. Keota's played back-to-back undefeated opponents, and I believe they play another one sometime this week. I could be wrong about that, but maybe I was looking at this one last week. But Keota gets by Linville Sully, previously undefeated, 59-56. And, as you can imagine, it was a close one. In this one, the Eagles led 17-7, 25-18, and 43-39 after each of those first 3 quarters, and they were able to kind of thwart a late Hawks rally to pull away and stay undefeated at 8-0. Cole Kindred with 17 points, 6 assists. Evan Vitito, 16 points on 8 for 9 shooting, and Sawyer Stout, 10 points for the Eagles there. And on Varsity Bound, I don't know if you noticed, Keota's like, they're ranked number 1 in class 1A, and then they're also ranked like 4th in like out of all classes, which is, I don't know how they.
Yeah, it's I think it's a mathematical way. I think Glenville Sully was also ranked very high in that. They're like 6 or something like that. Yeah. So there we go.
I don't know. Keota's been balling out.
We got to get him see Keota. We haven't seen him live yet. We got to see him soon.
Yep. Winfield Mount Union once again. So that previous game against Columbus was on Friday. They also played on the Wolves played Holy Trinity Catholic on Saturday, which HTC's a very good team. Played West Burlington. Literally, West Burlington needed a game winner in that one. So HTC's no joke there. But Winfield Mount Union gets another big win, 55-40 over the Crusaders, now 7-1 on the season. They led just by 2 at the half, 23-21, but went on to outscore Holy Trinity 32-19 in the second half. Cam Buffington, 20 points, 8 boards. Abram Edwards, 13 points, 9 rebounds, and Carter Lloyd with 12 points and 5 assists. Waco, 59, now 4-2 on the season. Gets by Hillcrest, who is 6-2, had been playing some good ball, 59-38 in that one. So Waco now took sole possession, second place in the SEC or SEISC.
SEISC.
Yeah, it's hard to say when you say it like that. But they're now second place after that win over Hillcrest Academy. Hunter Hughes, 18.7 boards, 6 assists. He's been having some crazy stat lines as of late. Colton Lichty, 16 points, 14 boards. Chase Waterhouse, 12 points and 10 rebounds for Hillcrest. Mason Bender with 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Mid-Prairie, now 4-3. Big win over Durant, who is 0-8, 81-43. Golden Hawks led 25-15 after 1 and went on to outscore the Wildcats 56-22 the rest of the way. Ace Peck led Mid-Prairie with 20 points. Bryce Henry, 16 and 9 boards. Landon Sullivan with 12 points. New London moves to 2-5 on the season with a 60-59 win over GMG, who is 3-5. So Another tight game there. Tigers led 17-9 after the first, 33-28 at the half. GMG did cut it to 3, 49-46 after 3, but the Tigers were able to hold on and get that 1-point victory there. Brennan Ritchie, 21 points on 7 threes for him there. Brigham Porter, 16 points, 11 boards. London Franklin had 11. Keep on rolling. Pekin, who one of us is going to see tonight. Another 1-point victory across our board here. Pekin's 5-4, got the 64-63 win over Lone Tree, who's 4-5. The Panthers led 28-27 at the half. The two teams were tied 44-44 heading into the fourth. And then Pekin got the win with a 20-19 fourth quarter there. So, real close win there. Another close win. Notice the trend. There's a lot of close wins this week.
Yes.
Highland picks up its first win on the season, 49-46 over English Valleys. And then we'll keep rolling through here. So the rest of the teams are losses, so we'll just kind of read through the final scores. Holy Trinity, 65-33 over Van Buren. Wapello, 38-30 over Highland. West Burlington, 73-31 over New London. And that is all we have from last week, from Friday and Saturday.
There you go. Well, I've got some girls basketball for you. And the New London Tigers have won their first girls basketball game of the season. Here we go. Hold on. I had to get on the, I had to, not show anybody any tricks, but I had to open this in a new way because it wasn't working on my phone. Anyway, New London 50, West Burlington 48, Super Conference South Division win. I should have looked up. You want to go on a little scavenger hunt and look up New London and then click that game and tell me when the last time New London beat West Burlington in girls basketball was, because West Burlington's been good at girls basketball for quite some time. I bet you it's been a little while. Miley Miller, so 50-48, Miley Miller with 17 points and 7 rebounds. Sophie Malott with 10. Olivia Hester also had 10. Morgan Jones pulled down 11 rebounds. Columbus and Winfield Mount Union. Columbus Wildcat girls basketball is off to quite the start.
Yep.
Now 7-1 with a 55-20 win over the girls in that one. So you got to see the Super Conference North leaders and girls and boys in that doubleheader. Winfield boys leading and Columbus girls leading. Lily Coyle chalked up 22 points and 8 rebounds. I also think she might have had 7 or 8 or 9 assists on that. She is getting pretty close to being a triple-double machine there. Ariana Vergara with 16 points and 5 rebounds. RSLA Garza with 6. And with Mount Union's Madison Kellogg, 8 points and 10 rebounds. Maggie Hutton with 5. So big win for the Wildcats there. Highland with a win over Wapello, 37-28, low-scoring game there. In that one, Sarah Burton had 16 points and 13 rebounds. Stay tuned because there's an even more impressive stat line from her coming here in the later parts of this little roundup. Kylie Allen had, Katie Herrig had 6 and 7 rebounds. Kylie Allen had 5. Mid Prairie with a win over Durant, 55-42. Mid Prairie is now 6-2 in girls basketball. Callie Huber, 16 and 14. Nora Pennington was 15 there and 5 assists. Briley Gerhardt had 9 points. A lot of double-doubles this year. Yeah. There's just been a crazy amount of double-doubles this year for us. Waco Hillcrest Academy, Hillcrest Academy girls basketball team has had so many of these close games. Yep. They drop another one to a Super Conference North Foe, another Union area team. Waco 44, Hillcrest Academy 38. Emma Wagler with 16 and 9. Ellie Huizinga with 8. Naomi Egley with 6 points, and Hillcrest Academy, Malia Yoder 13, Claire Withrow 10, and Lydia Beachy 9. And that one, Hillcrest just dropped an absolute heartbreaker or thriller, depending on who you're cheering for, against Winfield Mount Union that I was at the other Saturday. Pekin drops one to Lone Tree. Lone Tree's been on fire. Yeah. They're kind of the team that's taken over in the North right now besides Columbus. Columbus beat them earlier in the season. 9-1 now for Lone Tree, 46-34 over Pekin. We'll be watching them. One of us will be watching them tonight. Against Louisa Muscatine. English Valley's 54, Highland 50 in a battle of a couple 7-win teams. Yep. Highlands plays one of the better teams in the Sickle. Highland actually had a double-digit lead in this. English Valley clawed back. Sarah Burton, 22 points and 20 rebounds in that game. Carol Longbine and Mackenzie Davis each had 6. Winfield Mount Union falls to Holy Trinity Catholic, 68-15. Van Buren County falls to Holy Trinity Catholic 60-11. Marley Mertens had 4 to lead the Warriors in that one. The Cardinal Comets against the hated Albia Blue Demons when I was at Sheraton High School. 35-27 Cardinal led in this one. And by the way, Cardinal will be traveling to the land that the house that Andy Krutzinger built tonight, Sheraton, the Charger Dome in Sheraton, to take on Sheraton tonight. And then Keota had a tough one. Linville Sully ranked number 13 in Class 1A. Linville Sully wins that one 59-29. Emily Conger with 8 points for the Eagles. Grace Conger and Dakota Dodd with 5. And there is your girls basketball roundup.
12 straight games. West Burlington had beaten New London.
12
dating back to 2017.
2017. What were we doing in 2017? Hunter was in college. I was still doing this. I was in my
2 years
first
after
year.
I graduated.
First or second year. And wait a minute. Let me do a.
You know who was on the team?
Here we go. New London 2017. That would have been Morgan would have been on that team. No, it would have been Savannah Sutherland. I'm thinking of the volleyball team for some reason. Brianna Mettler. Brianna Mettler would be on that team, definitely.
Yep.
What about Peyton Prossman?
Nope. She was a year younger than me.
Who's the point guard? Frankie Johnson?
She was a year younger.
Your age?
There you go.
Now I look like a dummy that
Madison
has no.
Walls was the point guard.
Who
Madison
was?
Walls.
Madison Walls was the point guard.
Walls
Oh, there we go.
gone.
It was that year. That's right. They didn't have a. That would have been.
So it would have been Cameron
Blint.
Alicia Bowles, and
there we go.
Yep.
I screwed that one up big time. That shows my old brain that can't decipher year from year. That
old
would have been
brain.
Chad Wall's first year superintendent because Madison Walls only played 1 year for the Tigers. Anyway, there's how my brain's. It's not what it used to be. 33. Welcome to the 33 Club again.
You're good.
That one fake celebrity that I wished happy birthday to a second ago. Yeah, that's what it's going to be like. And I'll tell you what the next couple of minutes are going to be like. Bliss, heavenly bliss, because we're going to look at our sponsors. So we'll be back in a few minutes with a little bit of wrestling.
yeah,
A wrestling.
little wrestling.
Wrestling.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
At 5 Star Community Credit Union, we want to help you lead a better life. We offer competitive rates and convenient appointment times for all kinds of loans: auto, recreational vehicles, home equity, line of credit, holiday, and personal loans. We make it easy to build your credit and enjoy the good things in life.
We invite you to join 5 Star Community Credit Union. We are community-minded and member-focused. Come visit our locations in West Burlington and Mount Pleasant or online at 5starcu.org. Federally insured through the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Brown Shoe Fit, we pride ourselves on traditional sit and fit service that's been serving the Mount Pleasant area since 1952. At Brown's, we have shoes for the whole family. From kids to adults, we carry the finest footwear for every occasion. Whether you're looking for something for work, casual wear, or exercise, we've got you covered. And don't forget about our selection of safety toe footwear for both men and women. Come visit us 6 days a week and experience the best in traditional sit and fit service. Brown Shoe Fit, where quality and tradition meet.
ready to light up your holidays in Southeast Iowa like never before. The Mount Pleasant Festival Lights is back brighter than ever. Starting November 22nd and running every night through New Year's Eve, the Festival Lights is the ultimate drive-through holiday experience. But here's the real excitement. For 2 nights only on December 18th and 19th from 5:30 to 8 p.m., you can ditch your car and walk and run through the lights. With over 150 dazzling light displays, this is the perfect way to kick off your holiday season. For dates, times, directions, and ticket information, visit oldthreshers.com.
Hello, and welcome to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live. You're watching it live. It's not actually called Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live, but I like to say live because I like shows to say the word live. Larry King Live, Saturday Night Live, both of those had pretty good runs. Not as good of a run as this show's going to have. I think we're going to top them both. We're powered by Fairway, as well as all of the ads, all the sponsors, all local sponsors you can see about right here-ish maybe. In the, Hunter's pointing. Hunter, point again. Switch to Hunter. Yeah, right there. And then, hey, wait, so keep it on Hunter for a second. I want to try something. Keep it on Hunter. I want to try something.
What are you going to try?
Oh, no. I always want to do that when he's talking. We're going to talk about a little wrestling. I will jump right into it. We had a few teams in Fort Madison. Fort Madison had, including the Fort Madison JV team, the Fort Madison Boys Wrestling Tournament this weekend had 23 teams in it.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Could you imagine the parking lot? Fort Madison doesn't have the biggest parking lot.
No, they don't. And I think last time I was there during volleyball season, they were doing like construction.
Oh, that would be horrible.
So it was like even smaller than
kind of right in the middle of town too. I wonder if they just had to park in the woods. Columbus WMU with a 4th place finish, 328 points. There were a lot of teams squished into the 300 point. Dubuque Hempstead won with 382. Clear Creek, Ottumwa, those are the only teams that beat Columbus WMU. That's pretty impressive because I think those are all 4A teams. Those are all 3A teams. Columbus is a 2A team. Russell Coyle with a win at 285, and then we had Tice Corporal with a 3rd place finish for the Wildcats. And then you have to go a little further down to see the rest of our teams. Washington with 217. Aaron Boone dominated, as he has one to do, his bracket to win that one. I think Chase Grunner as top 3 there as well. And then we had New London finishing 16th with 134. Cardinal 17th. Highland 18th. And Van Buren County 22nd. So congratulations to everyone who went into the Hound Dome with all the wrestling going on with hundreds of wrestlers. Yep. Came out of that alive. There was a triangular at Van Buren County also on Thursday. Columbus WMU won, beat Wapello and Van Buren County in that one. Van Buren County fell to Wapello, so they went 0-2. I got a little girls wrestling as well.
Yeah.
How about another shout out to the house that Andy Krutzinger built, the Sheraton Charger Dome, because Sheraton played host to a few of our girls teams. Pekin and Cardinal finished 6th and 7th. Pekin 82 points, Cardinal 72.5 points. The Pekin Panthers had a couple winners there. We had Haley Pidrick and Leela Miller both won at 135 and 140, and then they had a 2nd place finisher, Lexa Nelson. Pekin fans, go check out the newspaper tomorrow. Lexa Nelson picture that I was unable to run from the Columbus meet. It's a good picture for getting a pin. And if you look closely, she's actually pinning her teammate.
Really?
Yes, there are 2 Pekin girls. I didn't say that in the caption, so... But anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with anything. Cardinals, Asia Cox got 2nd at 155. Macy Grove 2nd at 130. Cardinal had Skylar Welch 2nd at 170. Just tallying up the silver medals on that one. And then let's see, we got Waco 10th with 52 points. Riley Rice, she's been racking up the gold medals this year. She wins another bracket. And Sigourney Kyoto, 28 points, all 28, coming from Raina Underback, who is still
dominating,
undefeated. Yes, and hopefully everyone found the mats okay. They weren't tripping over the statues of me from when I was in high school and all
Andy's
the posters
everywhere.
And stuff. They
you
have
ever go to Sheraton?
Yeah, it's quite the place to be. I stole that joke from somebody, but I don't remember who I stole it from. So it's my look at me.
Hey.
It's my joke now. Hunter, you got any wrestling for us?
Yeah. I found the Cedar Rapids Prairie Winter Classic went on over the weekend. Had a couple teams in it. Story about this will be in today. we had Columbus WMU. They finished 18th, 27-team field. So 18th for Columbus WMU there, 35 points for them. Highland, Riverside, which also is with Washington, correct?
Highland girls have the Washington girls there, yes.
They finished 22nd with 19 points in that one. Let me pull up individual results here. Go to the teams. For Columbus WMU here, we've got Jana Isanta with an eighth place finish at 120. Yelena Miranda, place is unknown. I don't know why they say place unknown, but they still score points. I don't know.
Oh, that's if they don't place the top 8.
But they still get points, like technically for wrestling. I always wondered why they.
Yes, pins get you points, takedowns, stuff like that. I don't think takedowns do.
Yeah, Yelena Miranda did not place, but notched 3 team points there at 135. Josie Nelson placed 5th at 140 for the Wolves there, and then at 155, Lasite Yoroza placed 6th and pulled 12 team points for WMU there, Columbus WMU, and then at 190, Jada Moats, places unknown, and no team points for 190. There, we'll jump over to Highland Riverside here. At 100, we've got Abby Grout, place unknown, but 4 team points for her there. 145, Jenna Bose, no team points, or place is unknown, so I guess didn't place. I guess I
didn't play. Just
said
didn't
didn't place.
Right.
Didn't place. 0 team points. Yeah.
Computer can't figure it out.
Varsity girls 155, Peggy Miller 7th overall, and 11 team points for that finish. And then at 190, Chloe Sexton 7th, and then 14 points for her. So, story about more about those results will be in today. And then also, last Thursday, I was in Fairfield for a meet between the Trojans and Burlington. Real exciting duel came down to the wire. Fairfield does notch its first conference duel win of the season, 41-39, just edging Burlington there. So, Fairfield got wins from Dre Smithberg at 215, Logan Johnson 285, Kale McCabe at 113, Julian Pumphrey at 132, Aiden Westerkamp at 138, and Zandrick Allison at 144. Early on, it looked like Fairfield was going to run away with it. They led 35-18, and all those wrestlers I just mentioned built that lead for them through the first 9 matches. Smithberg, Westerkamp, and Allison were all winners by fall. Pumphrey won by tech fall 17-2, and then McCabe and Johnson were both winners by forfeit, so Burlington didn't have many wrestlers to go up against them. Burlington closed the gap over the next 4 matches, got back-to-back forfeits at 150 and 157, made it 35-30, and then at 165, the Trojans' Calvin McLean was topped by the ground's Tanner Burchett via tech fall, which knotted the duel at 35-35. And then Fairfield's Dane Burkhart picked up a huge win at 175, pinning the ground's Micah Zog after 3 minutes and 20 seconds faction to give Fairfield once again a lead. So at that point, all Fairfield needed to do was not lose by fall in the final bout, and they succeeded. Carter Moore battled for as long as he could at 190, ended up losing by major decision 7-0 or 9-0, but it was enough to secure the win because Burlington didn't get the 6 points there to tie it back up. And then the Trojan girls were also in action. Fairfield's lone victory came from Samantha Lyons at 160. Lyons pinned Burlington's Annabelle Albert in 1 minute and 14 seconds. And then in the other bouts for the Trojan girls, Vinay Gonzalez lost in the final round by Burlington's Serena Klein at 120, and then Gonzalez was also pinned by Kyra Nash at 125. So they kind of jumped around their weight classes just to let them wrestle. And then Alejandro Carmiato wrestled a pair of matches at 135 and 140, suffering losses by fall. So that was all from the Fairfield-Burlington duel last Thursday in Fairfield.
There you go. Washington and Mount Pleasant were both on the road on Thursday. Mount Pleasant lost to Fort Madison, the heavy favorite in the Southeast Conference this year. Washington won the triangular in Keokuk over Keokuk and Warsaw. They dominated both. If you want to know which Washington kids got a pin in that, just look up the entire roster because they pretty much all did. Have a little bowling real quick. Mount Pleasant Fairfield last week. Well, this is last Monday, but we didn't get it in last week. real quick. 2299 to 1712 Mount Pleasant over Fairfield. The Mount Pleasant girls have been scoring over 2200 a lot, almost touched that 2300 mark. And I'll tell you what, Addison McHardy, 445 in her 2-game set. Her high game was 245.
Man.
She gonna mess around and get a 300 this year?
Maybe.
245 is a lot. That's
good.
like a couple of rolls off of 300. Anyway.
She's good.
Definitely higher than I've ever done. Bethany Drury, 312. Cheyenne Smith, 273. Kai Goodrich, 267. And Danielle Brush, 265 for the Panthers. On the boys' side, the Fairfield Trojans took down the Mount Pleasant Panthers, 26-33 to everybody with OCD or that needs everything to be even. Check out this score from the Mount Pleasant boys bowling team, 2,222. Perfect. Fairfield stats aren't in there. So far, the lone Panther to go over 300 was Joseph Reinsmith, who went to 314. So there you go. There's some bowling. There was some wrestling. There was some basketball. There's going to be some basketball. There's going to be some baseball tonight, kind of, because Keaton Wynn is having his jersey retired at the Pekin games tonight against L&M. And we'll have it all
coming
all winter.
Yeah.
Are we going to be here next Tuesday?
Nope.
There's no show next Tuesday.
So enjoy us while you can.
So enjoy us while you can. Well, hey, you know what? For any of you that have those little pins from Men in Black that makes you forget the last however many, use that. Save this for next Tuesday. Watch it again.
Yep.
And
feel
we'll
like you
see
never
ya.
watched it.
Wait a minute. We'll see you next
week.
I'm not going to see you next week.
But
next.
I don't know.
Year. We'll see you next year.